Hi guys, Vitali here. In this video lesson, we are going to talk about software-related KPIs, key performance indicators. So, what are KPIs? These are numbers, metrics, graphs that show you how your business is doing from financial, marketing, sales, fulfillment, and human resource perspective. Actually, any business owner needs to monitor and adjust these metrics. This improves the product itself, it improves user engagement, financial situation, user retention, and tons of other significant numbers in your business, in their businesses. It might be something like this friendly dashboard you can see on this slide with some numbers, metrics, and graphs, or it can be as simple as online Google spreadsheet that you can maintain manually. The format does not matter that much in the beginning. So, what we are going to cover in this lesson? In this lesson, I will show you 3 groups of metrics related to software. In each of these groups, I will show you examples of the most common indicators you need to monitor. Also, I will tell you what metrics you need to worry about in the very beginning of your journey, of your software journey, and what parameters you can delay after the MSP release. Finally, we will have some homework for you at the end of this lesson. So, let's start. You might ask me, Vitali, why do I need to spend my valuable time right now on KPIs? Wouldn't it be better just to focus on my software product features? And I would tell you, no, we don't need you to spend tons of hours on the KPIs now, but it's crucial to be on top of your software things on day one after you launch the MSP version. And for some of your software ideas, some metrics you need on day one cannot be borrowed from third-party services on tools. That means that you will need to ask developers to build it as part of the MSP scope, as part of your software. That kind of software that would track all these metrics, collect the data and show it to you. So it's better to spend a bit of time right now and list the necessary minimum of metrics we need from day one. Then check what KPIs we can monitor within third-party tools and whether we need to develop our own metrics. If we need custom metrics, then yes, we should include them into our MSP scope. So before we move on to the project roadmap module, the next module, we need to specify those metrics, how they work and why we need them. That's why we have this lesson exactly right now in this product strategy module. And also, this lesson is just a small bonus for you. Here we share with you our experience so that you can learn the stuff you will need pretty soon after you launch your software. Okay? We have 3 groups of KPIs when applied to software business. The first and the third groups on this slide are common to any kind of business. And the second group is usually specific to software products only. The first group of metrics is related to financial situation of your business. They show us how we are doing financially and whether everything is going fine related to costs and revenue. The second group of indicators show us how our software performs. We need to know whether our products solve the problem of our customers and whether our users are engaged. Or maybe they are running away after a short period of time and we need to fix our retention rate. The third final set of metrics on this slide is related to our sales and marketing activities. Here we check all our conversion rates, sales close rates, money spent on marketing campaigns and everything similar to this. So let's dive a bit deeper into each of these groups now. I will start with financial KPIs. As the first step for the MSP version, these 4 metrics will be enough for you. Each of them might have some extra variations, but generally these are revenue, churn rate, CAC, customer acquisition cost, and LTV, lifetime value. So let's start with revenue. As for revenue, at the beginning you are not that much interested in net profit but in revenue, getting new users and keeping existing users happy for as long as possible. So we focus mainly on revenue, all money you get coming into your software business on a monthly basis. With subscription-based software, we are usually interested in monthly and annual recurring revenue metrics, MRR and ARR. Also, there are some software products that charge quarterly or every 6 months, but that's rather an exception from the rules and we're usually interested in monthly and annual recurring model. Also, if your goal is to grow, then the second revenue-related metric you want to watch is monthly revenue growth. You need to have at least 30% of your revenue as expansion revenue. It means coming from new users. Also, if you want to read a bit more about revenue growth, check this great article hidden behind this short link, 30-revenue over here. Okay, and finally, if you have more than one pricing tier, then you might also want to track the average revenue per subscriber metric. Here under subscriber, I mean a paid customer. This is the total monthly recurring revenue divided by the number of customers. Okay, the good news are that we don't need to develop any of these metrics on our own. If we integrate our payment functionality using services like Stripe or Recurly, they will give it all to us. And you can check what specific revenue-related metrics service like Stripe provides under this short link /Stripe dashboard. That is it from me on revenue, and let's move on to the next metric. Okay, the next super important financial indicator is churn rate. It's not that hard to acquire new users, but it's much harder to make them happy and make them stick with your software for the long term. Money is not made on one-time purchases, but from long-term cooperation, upsells, cross-sells, and regular subscription payments, right? Big money is made from existing customers and not from new sales. That's why the churn rate is one of the most critical KPIs after revenue. If you spend tons of money on acquiring new users just to let them go after 1 or 2 months, you will struggle to grow your software business. Also, selling to your existing customers is always cheaper than selling something to a new person or business. So, your goal number 1 after you release your MSP software version is to get first few users. And then your goal number 2 is retain them for an extended period. Okay? Most of your attention will be spent on churn rate and making sure it's as low as possible. You will need to work on it regularly. So, churn rate is how many paid customers stop using your product over a specific period. Or it also can be measured in percentage compared to your total paid users. Churn rate formula is number of churned customers divided by the total number of your customers. There is also another kind of churn, revenue churn. Customers' churn rate might not give you a clear picture of your financial situation, if you have multiple pricing tiers and some big premium accounts. For instance, losing a customer that pays you $5,000 per month is much worse than losing $50 per month customer, right? That's where revenue churn comes into play. It equals churned MRR divided by total MRR. So with one pricing tier or pricing tiers that differ in price just a very little, you can only monitor customer churn. You don't need to monitor revenue churn metric, okay? Also, here we have a good news for you. Services like Stripe also provide you with all the necessary churn related metrics, so we don't need any custom development, don't need to spend any time on it. Finally, if you want to spend a bit of extra time and learn a little more in depth on different types of churns, here on this slide at the bottom, I have 2 articles for you hidden under these 2 links. Next revenue metric, CAC, Customer Acquisition Costs. I already explained it to you real quick in the software economics lesson. CAC is how much you pay to acquire each customer through all of your acquisition channels, including marketing and sales activities and payrolls. The formula is as simple as the total cost of sales and marketing divided by the number of new customers acquired per specific selected period. So why do you need to monitor CAC? Because you always want to use the cheapest channels and techniques to acquire new customers and profit more. That's simple, right? And unfortunately, there is no single tool or dashboard which will give you accurate CAC number. Your marketing and sales activities will differ depending on your software business stage and your specific software product. Thus, you will use different marketing platforms at different times. You can easily track number of newly acquired users with service like Stripe, but to track costs, sometimes it's better to start with simple online Google spreadsheets. You copy there your numbers from different marketing channels. This can be like a weekly or monthly routine, and it will be more than enough in the beginning. So just don't overcomplicate here, okay? And the final metric in the financial KPIs group is LTV. We also quickly talked about this one in the previous lesson. And simply put, it shows you how much you make from one customer over user lifetime. A nice formula to use might be average revenue per customer per month divided by subscriber churn rate, also monthly. And again, services like Stripe will give you an LTV metric within their dashboard, so no need for any work on your side, on development side. Okay, now having CAC and LTV, we remember that our goal with our software is to get to the point where our LTV CAC ratio is ideally higher than 3 to 1. So we can sell $3 and more on every $1 spent on marketing, okay? I believe you made your homework from the previous lesson, so let's move on to the next slide. And to finalize our financial KPI section, I'm giving you 2 links to read on your own. That's not critical to do right now. You can check this out even after you launch your software, but just to give you something in case you want to get a bit deeper. The first link here is about GAAP metrics. These are indicators that tell you how your business is doing at this moment right now. SaaS metrics show you where are you moving with your software business, and GAAP metrics tell you where are you right now. And the second link is about 5 KPIs that venture capital is looking for in tech startups, just in case. The previous group of KPIs was pretty common to any business, but user engagement KPIs are mostly related to software businesses. So this is where all magic happens. The main goal is to show you how engaged users are with your software and how many of them stay active. Users that don't use your software often enough and don't get any results from it sooner or later will unsubscribe. So you want to improve it. You want to improve retention, lifetime period, and increase overall revenue per customer. You need to define key user engagement metrics for your software product, and then you need to keep an eye on it regularly and always think about possible ways you can make it better. So we have the main question here. What is an active or engaged user? And the problem with this definition is that it highly depends on your software idea and cannot be unified, unfortunately. For example, for bookkeeping software with the primary goal of generating invoices for clients, we can easily call users as engaged when they visit this software, let's say just once per month. Every time they need to send an invoice, and for that specific customer, specific business, they invoice their clients only once per month at specific time. So for this specific bookkeeping software, this specific user we can call as engaged. They only visit once per month, but still they are engaged. On the other side, for social networks like Facebook, if a user does not get to it daily or even hourly, that's already a problem, right? So unfortunately, I cannot tell you what specific KPIs you need to track within your software. You need to ponder on it on yourself and make your definition of an engaged or active user for your software. And I just want to give you some examples to get you like moving. So some standard engagement metrics in the software world are number of all users, amount of paid users, number of daily users. Also, it could be like number of weekly users or number of page views per user, number of button or link clicks. It could also be like a user session duration. So anything that helps you see how often, for how long your users utilize your software. And free services like Google Analytics can help you track most of these metrics. In some cases, you might need to ask the developer to add some custom events tracking snippets, but it does not require custom programming. And then there might be some specific metrics required only in your software. Again, I want just to give you a couple examples. For example, in marketing automation software like MailChimp, Infusionsoft, Apesta, Social Insight, Buffer, here we can have the amount of followers, amount of subscribers or fans. The more we can help our users grow their users, fans, audience base, the higher the chances they will stick with our software. So our metrics need to be about their audience size, their audience growth rate, and their audience churn rate, right? And if we are talking about content creation software, for instance, that might be number of content pieces produced, published, or pushed to social media with our software. If it's CRM, then we probably need to monitor number of contacts our users add to our CRM. Also, probably the number of campaigns sent, number of cold outreach emails sent, conversion percentage in their funnels, and so on. If that's a marketplace, then we want to track number of transactions, number of disputes, average vendor ratings, and so on. So you need to invest some time and think about what are 1, 2, or 3 key metrics that define the success of your software users. The better you can solve their problems, the more revenue you will make. And these metrics will help you understand whether you are doing well or maybe you need to fix something. And the bad news here is that in most cases, these metrics are tightly coupled to your software, so usually we need custom development involved. You want to define your engagement metrics now and make sure we add it to our MSP scope in the project roadmap module in the next module. And final note from me on this slide is about some other engagement KPIs. In the next lesson, we'll review users activation, retention, and referral rates. All 3 metrics are also about user engagement. We'll talk about this a bit later. User engagement KPIs are those you will need to invest most development time compared with the other 2 groups of metrics, but at the same time they are unique to your software idea. That's why our team will help you with engagement metrics during your homework review. So don't worry, don't stress out that if you don't understand what you need to include as an engagement KPI within your software. We will help you out with this task as well. And if you are not sure what metrics to keep, then I have one more bonus hint regarding engagement KPIs. When you only start with your software, we recommend you to keep an eye on these 3 metrics. Active users number. If you still cannot define who is active or not, then just start with users that pay you. Second one is a second month retention. How many users stay with you after your first paid month? And third type of metrics we need engagement rates. Do your customers just open your software or actually use it? And having Google Analytics with some custom event tracking plus Stripe account or similar payment service, these 2 tools will help you track all the above metrics to some extent. Again, we'll talk a bit more about these metrics in user activation and retention lessons a bit later. This one will be really short. Here we have the last 3rd group of metrics in our software business. This one is about sales and marketing KPIs and is relevant to any other business as well. We already mentioned CAC and LTV metrics. They are also relevant to customer acquisition group. And also in the next lesson, we will talk a bit more about pre-launch strategy and software growth. But for now, my goal is to make you start thinking about possible sales and marketing channels you will use and what kind of metrics you will need to monitor there. For example, here on this slide, I put an example of landing page funnel which starts with Facebook ad, going through to your sales landing page and then to your free trial sign up, and the last step in this funnel we have a conversion to paid user. And other popular sales funnels among software businesses these days are sales webinars, case study funnels, email series follow-ups, lead magnet funnels, and info product funnels where we try to sell educational course, online course, and only then upsell our software. In all these funnels, you want to track numbers on each funnel step. How many people take the next step and what percentage converts to the next level? How much does it cost you per visitor, per lead, per trial sign up and paid customer? And the good news here is that in most cases, you will use existing tools and services to configure your funnels and make and implement performance tracking without developers. So we don't need to spend any time and money developing our own marketing metrics. Okay, so with that being said, regarding customer acquisition KPIs, my request to you here is that take your time and think about possible 1 or 2 marketing channels, project some steps within these channels, within these funnels, and think about possible KPIs you will need to track. That's all I wanted to convey to you regarding customer acquisition KPIs in this lesson. So, and we'll discuss more about these kind of KPIs and channels and sales in the next lessons. So with that being said, I have the last slide in our lesson for you. I did my job, now it's your turn. I will ask you to fill in 3 tables in our worksheet, which are very similar to what you can see here on this slide on the right side. These are the tables for financial KPIs, user engagement metrics, and user acquisition metrics. I know that user acquisition metrics are just guesses and projections, right? But I want to make you already think about sales way before you launch your software, okay? And important, each of these KPI tables has an implementation column over here, the last one. Here we describe how we're going to implement or integrate this or another metric. Some metrics we will get from third-party tools and others need to be developed by programmers. So I will ask you to add some notes to this column only if you know where to get this metric from. And if you have no idea, then leave this column empty and our team will help you figure this out, okay? Also, on this lesson page, you will find a link to KPIs worksheet example for MailChimp, a mail marketing automation software. Please use it as a reference. It will help you a lot. So take your time, think about your KPIs, copy our worksheet and put it all there. We will be happy to review your metrics and help you out with it. And if you have any questions regarding your home assignment, share your worksheets with us and leave us a question via support.